Hello, everyone, and welcome to game number 1 between ReGen Ghost and currently chasing Samuro. I am your host, Raka. I am joined tonight by Miss Jacqueline Hyde. Hello.
Hello. How are you doing tonight?
Doing actually really well. Worked way too long. There's a heat wave coming through, and I live in New York. I'm not okay with heat waves. I left the South for a reason.
Fair enough. We got the big thunderstorms rolling through as well down here in the DC area.
Oh, I definitely believe it's always funny. Like, you guys always get hit a little bit harder than we do because you're a little bit closer to the ocean, but you also handle it better because you actually have like money there.
Yeah, or at least one would hope.
Because I'm very much in upstate New York, not in the city.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you're in New York. Gotcha.
But we do go ahead and have maps being banned out. It did turn out that currently chasing Samuro did win the coin flip, have chosen to be first pick. Therefore, map pick goes over to ReGen Ghost. ReGen banned out Baraxis Holdout because they hate me, and Volskaya Foundry. We did go after currently chasing Samuro, banning out Cursed Hollow and Battlefield of Eternity. And we'll be going over to Tomb of the Spider Queen. So, any predictions what we see here? Obviously, with the most recent patch, Zagara's gone way up, and this is a small enough map that Zagara is very prominent. I kind of expect to see them being banned out, but I'm not sure.
I'm fairly certain we'll see Zagara banned here. Any map where she can get value with just easy maw, where she doesn't need to take an itis for any kind of rotation. She kind of does a lot of things a little too well right now, so I'm pretty sure she'll be banned out. What I'm really excited to see are a lot of Junkrat and Stukov picks coming up lately, so maybe we'll see some of that.
Well, it looks like we're going to find out if we're going to see that, because we're going into the game right about now. They said where we are. Okay, I think Harkin may misunderstood, because just somebody said, I don't know how anyone can hate you, and I'm like, I don't think anyone can. Did I say something about being hated? Native confusion, but we are into the game right now. So obviously we do have first pick and first ban going inside of currently chasing Samuro, because that's what happens when you pick first pick. It's right in the name.
This is true.
It always surprises me a little bit whenever I see teams really deliberate on that first ban. Because I'm like, I feel like you should kind of have that planned out. There's nothing to react to yet.
It's always nice to just kind of take the moment to get everyone on the same page, just kind of talk about what your game plan is going forward, kind of think about what you want from the map. So Lucio ban and a Gazlo ban coming out, followed up by a quick Johanna ban. Goodness.
And that Gazlo ban is almost certainly... I mean, Gazlo is good on a map this small. However, I also absolutely do have to say that that is kind of specific to BMed. BMed is a little bit famous for his Samuro and his Gazlo. So, leaving Samuro on the table so far, we'll have to see how it gets through the third ban phase, but we do have the Stukov you were talking about.
Yep. I think they were definitely vying for either Stukov. Another popular one is Vala and Stitches. So we'll see if those get snapped up here, because there's a lot of... Whoa. Mongoose picking up his ETC.
Now that's very interesting, because with the... now the ETC doesn't actually have the block talent. He does... his win rate did take a big dive, so I'm kind of curious to see this still brought out, even with that. And then Crush there, just go ahead and get the Tassadar.
And then over here we've got Asmojad picking up Junkrat and United GGK picking up the Garrosh. This is looking pretty scary for an ETC, I think.
Oh, absolutely. It's also very telling, because the two heroes you specifically called out before what happened have just been both picked up by currently chasing Samuro. So very interested to see where we go with that. Now here is the chance. Are they going to get rid of the Samuro? It's right in their name. You can't forget about it. But no, they are not afraid of the Samuro. I'm not sure that is not going to come back to bite them. Because I'll tell you, I'm afraid of being at Samuro.
Samuro is very strong, but I feel like this is an unusual map for Samuro. Usually you want just a lot more like quick wave clear. Typically your off lane isn't needing to go do camps and whatnot.
Okay, so, that is very true. I just have a hard time not thinking about it because it's right in the team's name. But, okay, we also have the Anduin band out. They have not taken the healer over on the side of ReGen Ghost just yet. I do have to say it's very interesting. The only undead hero that's been picked up so far is not on the side of the ghosts.
Alright. Tychus and Malfurion getting picked up. The Tychus will help with Garrosh because percentage damage doesn't give a hoot about Garrosh's armor as it gets lowered. But they might still have a little bit of trouble actually killing Garrosh. Particularly if Tychus goes bigger they are, because they'll get Garrosh low, and then BMed picking up Dahaka and Cordona picking up Cassia. This is a pretty scary team from CCS right now.
And the Cassia seems almost a direct counter to that Tychus, because it's super, super obvious whenever he actually uses his trait. And if you just blind him during the trait, it's just like, okay, have fun with that.
And Leoric being picked up. So we have kind of two ideologies happening here. It looks like ReGen Ghost is going for a very traditional, we want to clear lanes quickly. They've got Tassadar, they've got Leoric. Between those two heroes, they have the capacity to really clean up a lane pretty quickly and get wave priority in their favor and hopefully mitigate any kind of objective value. Meanwhile, on the side of currently chasing Samuro, they have a veritable kill squad and a half. Garrosh, Junkrat, Stukov is not what you want to see ever, let alone when your main tank is an ETC.
Yeah, I'm very, very curious how this will actually go, but we're going into the game right now, so we'll see you after the load screen, ladies and gentlemen. All right, and welcome to game number 1, ladies and gentlemen. Coming in from the blue side of the map is ReGen Ghost. Coming in with the little bit less aggressive of the comps. We'll have to see how they do. They are represented by Jub playing that Malfurion, Mongoose on the ETC, Andrew playing the Tychus, Aaron playing the Leoric, and Crushinator over on that Tassadar. Who we have on the other side of the team, or the map?
On the other side of the map, in the red team, we've got currently chasing Samuro with Bimeduho on Dahaka, United GGK on Garrosh, Asmochat on Junkrat, and Cordana on Cassia, and I Carry for Fun on Stukov.
All right, looking into our level 1 talents, it looks like the only questing talent we've taken so far is, of course, the Prog Rock. Very, very, very standard for ETC, but no one's going to necessarily be scaling out of their minds other than just the standard scaling that happens with later talents. We'll have to see if we see Dean Quest from Tychus when we get to level 4. Garrosh already getting knocked down to about half health.
So they, CCS definitely has a lot of scary pressure, but I feel like they come online a lot harder once they start picking up those level 4 and level 7 talents as far as their flexibility and their crowd control. Stukov picking reactive ballistospheres. Garrosh getting picked out here, gets rooted and slept. Did not quite have that unstoppable that he needs to get out of that situation from level 4.
Nope, not just yet. That does go in and give first blood over the side of ReGen Ghost. Ghosts are well known for collecting blood very effectively. Wait, no, that's vampires. Close enough.
Bot lane, there is a dicey situation. Dahaka at 200 health. Leoric also at 200 health. The interrupt. There was no respect there. No respect on that back.
Yeah, that was very interesting that it actually was just allowed to kind of walk forward and get that. I think B-Med just really thought it's like, oh, he'll never get to there in time, and the swing is too slow, and then just I always have to wonder if B-Med had actually moused over to look at the rest of the battle while he backed, because he just knew that there was, like, he was just going to get out of there. And we do have the electric fence coming online for that Tassadar. The little bit of free damage ult. Very, 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 what am I trying to say? High priority after some of the recent balance changes to Tassadar. Don't actually know how recent they were.
Yeah, it also gives them a little bit of disengage pressure from the Garrosh. Being able to put consistent slows like Garrosh always helps. The throw comes out on the ETC, but the silence is not quite ready. Mongoose able to slide out of there.
Yep. Kind of the old Anubrak problem. As soon as you get Anubrak into a position, he just goes ahead and burrows right out. So, although you can get Mongoose pretty easily, it's going to be hard to catch him when he can't just immediately leave. At least without Stukov being able to get the Hush Puddle down. And actually, the United GG takes a good bit of damage. Once again, is being slept and just kind of leaning left in the middle, but will not go down as easily this time around.
Yeah, at this point he has the tool to get out if he's in like real danger at least once every 40 seconds. Chattering Teeth is online from Junkrat, so they are able to get a little bit more flexibility in where they throw people. I'd love to see a steel trap in one of the bushes and Garrosh throw over into the bush instead of just straight back into towers, because maybe that's what they need to line up the silence quick enough.
That could definitely be, because the silence could hold long enough for the actual Hush Puddle to form underneath, because it hasn't quite been able to get there just quite fast enough that a couple times we've seen it.
Little root coming out on Malfurion.
Yep, and there is the bounce. Jub in a lot of trouble. It's being chased down, but it looks like we'll be okay, and not so much for the Cassia. But Andrew is right in the middle of the entire enemy team. Junkrat is going ahead and putting mines in, and we do also have that Mongoose getting kind of pickled upon, but it looks like we'll be able to get out. That's a very effective word, by the way, pickled.
It is a fun one. Alright, bot lane looking a lot safer now. No one's at sub 5% health and hanging around. B-Med stepping in to get these interrupts. Very low mana, though.
See, it looks like B-Med will go ahead and back. We'll have to see if Aaron actually walks forward and stops that. It looks like no, not this time. Cordana going down, checking the bottom Mercenary camp, but does not see anything. There is a throw onto Andrew right into the Stukov, but no one is actually there to stop the disengage, and it does look like, very, very slightly delayed Tassadar wall coming out.
A great defensive into the fray for the Stukov, though. Just get your healer out of trouble.
Tassadar's wall just feels so much worse ever since they've slightly changed it, so it takes an extra half second to come out. But granted, it used to be a little bit domineering.
Yes, yeah. In a little bit of a tough situation here. The root comes out, sleep comes out, and that'll be it.
We're up to 4 kills to 1 in favor of ReGen Ghost, and we also do go in at the Webweaver phase being triggered for the blue team. So with that being taken care of, we do go ahead and have Tychus coming down to the bottom, fighting B-Med. B-Med goes ahead and consumes his essence in order to make sure that he'll be able to stand up, and he is 2v1 down here. Meanwhile, it does look like a lot of potential will be moving up to the top lane on the side of ReGen Ghost. They want to try and get this down, because that is, of course, the boss win lane. Mongoose gets thrown in again, and actually booped away. Takes a few tower shots, but looks like he will be okay. Cassian moving into the middle lane right now in order to do that Webweaver, while the remaining 3 members of currently chasing Samuro do stay here up here in the top lane.
Cassie needs to watch positioning, though, because they are rotating down. She's able to get away this time, though. And Odin comes out. If you're just going to look for that siege value, Odin stepping past the tower. Interesting positioning there.
I mean, I guess he figures that Odin has the highest armor of anyone on the team, so why not? What could possibly go wrong?
A Garrosh can throw you. That's what can go wrong.
I'm gonna say, Garrosh has been hitting the gym. If he can throw a Odin, those things weighs like 8 tons. Very, very impressive orc.
So far, neither team has done any camps on the map, which is interesting. Cassia attacking this bruiser camp, but backing off. She doesn't really have a lot in her toolkit to deal with it on her own.
Oh, and we actually have a second Web Weaver phase coming out of ReGen Ghost. I actually thought that CCS was getting that on the top turn-in, but obviously not. Got slightly delayed, and then here come more Web Weavers.
Now, BMed in a little bit of trouble, gets entombed, and the Mosh comes out for just securing that kill. That's a lot of gems down.
He was holding something like 27, I believe.
Sounds about right.
And meanwhile, they are going to go ahead and just plow straight through this bottom lane, leaving the other 2 Web Weavers to die, but there is absolutely no saving this.
Yeah, CCS needs to definitely get their crowd control under control, but Stukov kind of in a tough situation again. Pops reactive ballista spores. Tats gets pulled in, but there's not really that much to act upon it. Manages to go down into the fray, comes out, throwing the Cassie back in. Ripfire comes back out, chasing the enemy team. Will it be enough? It is enough to kill ETC.
So that does end up, surprisingly enough, being a 2 for 2. BMed and Stukov went down, but so did ETC and Tassadar.
But at what cost on the map? Their bot gate is gone, the 2 towers are half dead, and they're just kind of in an awkward position here. They do have enough for turn-in, and it looks like they are taking this camp with Leorc scouting them down.
Yep, they also, Cassia is down below taking that camp as well. So after 9 minutes of no camps being taken, all of a sudden CCS says, how about we just take all of the camps? There will be a blue camp to answer them coming out of the left-hand side of the map.
Taunt coming out on the Leoric, and he's going to go down as soon as he pops up. ETC trying to get in position, gets pushed out by the Stukov. And both teams are going to try and use these bruiser camps in the middle to get a little bit of spell power. CCS's spell armor goes down first. And CCS needs to be a little careful here. They're a little split. They get their turn in. They just don't want to get like reverse clapped on right before their Web Weavers pop.
Yeah, but just luckily Org is moving down below in order to deal with these siege giants before too much damage actually gets done. CCS is massing up right in the middle of the map, with the Haka going down below to continue the skeleton versus dinosaur match off. Alright, Odin does come out behind the wall in order to try and clear this a little bit easier. Meanwhile, the majority of ReGen Ghosts are actually up at the top lane dealing with that Web Weaver. BMed has come up from the bottom in order to kind of make 5 fingers to a fist as they push in here, and here comes
Garrosh diving in. Valkyrie comes out, pulls the ETC. Not a lot of follow-up CC for it though. And their Garrosh is pretty low to keep sustaining here.
They do go ahead and get the first fort, at least on the side of CCS. Bottom fort has, of course, already gone down. We saw that before.
And Tomb comes out on the Cassia. And another Mosh, this time catching the Dahaka as well. Daikus gets hit by Riptire and is getting run down by the Garrosh.
Yep, we do go ahead and have a 1-for-1 so far, but very, very, very low on the Garrosh. Never mind, not low anymore. 0 is not a low number, it's a no number.
That turns into a 1 for 3 real quick.
It does look like they're considering boss at this point, and looks like there will be very, very little chance to oppose this. They are still 5 seconds out from being a 3v5. Okay, Tychus is dead, I guess 3v4. I can do math.
It's something like that.
To be fair, that's not math, that's counting. Completely different skill set. What does it look like? The boss is... Junkrat is in the area trying to harass a little bit, and they are moving to over here. I do not think they'll get here in time to actually do anything about boss. Tygus has arrived. And yet Dahaka and Cassie are not even anywhere nearby.
ETC with the crowd surf, getting him out of a tight spot there.
Alright, boss is moving in on top lane. Meanwhile, we do have Dahaka pushing out bottom. Doing what damage they can. Monk has to step back. There is a entangle that doesn't actually land on anyone. Odin is out. Go ahead, sorry.
Definitely looking for just to get 16. They've got 16 online. The talent tiers are equal again. What can they make happen here?
Talent tiers are even once again, but structure damage is not, as the top 4 does go down. So with that being taken care of, we do go ahead and have BMed in the middle trying to defend this middle fort. The middle fort is very, very low, currently sitting at a bolsterous 616 health. And that health is going to drop. They are still harassing it down to 67.
This Garrosh is getting ping-ponged around. Not having the game he envisioned, I believe.
Nope, we did catch him just now, licking the electric fence. Do not recommend it.
Throw comes out on the ETC. Big taunt comes out.
A massive shove just going to get the... It's kind of funny. It seems like a bit of internal dispute going on with CCS, where Garage is like, okay, let's get the ETC close to us, and the Stukov is like, no, let's get this ETC very far away from us. But Garage does go in and get taken out by that Entomb. And we no longer have 67 health on that middle fort. Oh, and we had a Webweaver phase? I completely missed that somehow. Go me.
Yep. They did get turned in shortly after the boss went down. Another slide into a mosh on the Cassia. Root into sleep. Going to take all of her armor away. Even though the shove came out to interrupt mosh, that's not going to be enough. This match is definitely looking in ReGen Ghost's favor right now.
Very much so. It looks like they will go ahead and pull back. They had 34 seconds before Cassie came back. They said, let's not make a risk. Let's go ahead and just move back and secure our advantage somewhere else. There's no reason to fight under core when death timers are this short.
There are some pings going out on this camp. Garrosh scouts it out. But I don't think they have the tools really to interfere with that. Maybe if Asmachad was able to get over there a little bit quicker with the Junkrat mine, they could have tried to boop someone over the wall into that trap and then throw them over the wall for pick. But I think that was about the best they could have done there.
Meanwhile, while they're trying to take advantage, we do go to ReGen Ghost, grabbing every camp they can. Right now, 3 of the 4 camps on the map are showing blue, and they are moving for the 4th one right now. There should be an achievement for getting all of the camps at one time.
Well, it is kind of just what you do when you're level 19, a level ahead, and you just want that level 20 spike before the enemy team can react.
So as we move through the top of the area, we do go ahead and have pressure being put on the top. It looks like they're right now, just as you said, moving around, trying to get experience safely. They don't really want to engage in a fight, because right now it is even talent tier. Fighting and losing is the one great way that CCS has to be back in this game. So ReGen is just really trying to get to 20 without actually exposing themselves at all. And they are right at the verge. There we go. Level 20 is picked up. So this should be exactly. I was going to say we should see a much more aggressive, and immediately they start moving in. Garrosh gets caught in the Entomb and gets taken out almost immediately. That is, of course, the silencing Entomb, which made him even deader.
Yeah, that task wall definitely getting a lot of value here. Junkrat going down as well. Mongoose with the celebratory mosh pit there over our corpse. And this looks like GG.
It very much does. It is a 3 versus 5 right now. They've gone ahead and taken down the second keep of the game. And the core is down to 50%. Bimetto is moving through. It's going to go ahead and try and distract them, but it's not distracting quite enough as the core does go down. And game number 1 goes over to the side of ReGen Ghost.
Unfortunately, distract them all he wants. It will not help versus those siege giants bottom and 3 katas.
So with that being done, looking at the stats at the end of the game, in terms of healing, we do have Jub Jub running away with the healing numbers, healing for 57,000 over the course of the game compared to I Carry for Fun's 37,000. Looking over at the hero damage, Junkrat does lead the way with a hearty 54,000, followed up by Tychus and Leoric. And then in terms of that ever important soap, we do have Leoric leading the way, about 3,000 experience ahead of Dahaka. Looking at talents, anything that immediately jumps out at you? Because you definitely know more about this game than I do.
Very interesting, just because I've been on a bit of a Stukov binge myself. The Stukov going one good spread at level 4, as well as a Super Strain at 16. Really popular right now is going with, instead of one good spread, you take, I can't remember the name of it, you take the 3 healing pathogens being detonated at once deals 30% more healing, as well as Pox Populi at level 16. And what that does is, in conjunction with your level 1, you pop your trait on at least 3 people. They get a really big heal for probably about a quarter of their health, and it resets the timer on their heal. And then you push your reactive ballistospores, which resets the cooldown on your trait and allows you to push the button again. So your 1Q can last 9 seconds and heal for like about 1,000 on each spike for an entire team. It's pretty silly right now.
That was an entire clinic on Stukov. I had no idea about it. I unfortunately am a offlane main, which means that like a bad Storm League player, I really don't know how to play the other roles, and I get in trouble every time someone else wants to be offlane. I'm like, but.
Yeah. Other than that, most of these things look pretty standard. I would have liked to have seen from currently chasing Samuro a little bit more play into their setup, because they definitely had a lot of great tools to kind of win these team fights, but it always felt like just the pieces didn't quite align. Like either a trap wasn't in place, or a silence wasn't able to come out at the right time, or something was on cooldown. Maybe just take a second, slow down, take a breather, and come back swinging on the next one. Because if we had seen something like Valkyrie into a trap, get booped back, thrown into a Garrosh and taunted, something like that would definitely have secured a lot of kills.
Absolutely. It does look like we have a second game coming up, so we're going to go back to the in-between lobby, and we will see you as soon as we get to the draft screen, everyone. Don't go anywhere, or if you do, come back and watch the VOD. Welcome, welcome, welcome to game number 2 between ReGen Ghost and currently chasing Samuro. We are on Infernal Shrines, which is interestingly also very, very big on clear, but maybe not quite as emphatic on push power and more on just being able to get all the little skeleton minions out as fast as humanly possible.
Yeah, I think this map is a lot more flexible with what you can draft as far as your answer to dealing with the map's macro. With Tomb of the Spider Queen, you kind of are always in lane, and there's not that many camps to do on the map. There's one neutral on the bottom, one on each side, which is pretty aggressive to invade early. But Infernal Shrines, you've got a bunch of camps on the map, you've got a bunch of objective points, and you've got 3 lanes that are fairly spread out.
So we do go ahead and have the Mei being banned out first and foremost. Mei obviously very, very good on this map because in addition to just being a stellar tank, does have a great zoning ability, and being able to zone on this map is incredibly important. Gazlo's still banned out, both because BMET is good at Gazlo and because, as we just said, being able to zone is very important on this map.
Yeah, I'm interested to see the Mei as a first ban. It's pretty interesting. Especially given with how powerful some heroes feel right now. Not that Mei is weak, but I haven't seen Mei as a first ban for a while. Stukov being banned, so they don't want to give over that first pick Stukov, which I can respect because I've seen ReGen Ghost play Stukov and they play it very well.
Alright, and we do also go ahead and get the Zagara banned out. So, not surprising, we talked about just how really, the problem with Zagara is on a small map, she's really good because of Maul. On a big map, she's really good also. So, but we do have the Brightwing being picked up. This was banned last time. So, take away the Stukov, and I guess they actually took away their own Stukov, never mind.
Yep.
But High Carry for Fun will be bringing us to fight time, it looks like. Very, very good ability to isolate and kill off one person. Oh, the Endubrak, the Sylvanas, for the Scourge, apparently, coming out of the side of ReGen Ghost.
This is one of my favorite maps for Sylvanas. If you're able to secure any objective, really, people say that the Immortal Punisher is basically a 6th team member. If you can shut down a fort while your Punisher is jumping on people, it's almost like having a 7th team member in these team fights. So I love Sylvanas on this map.
And also, I will say I was actually in Crush's stream before this happened, and he was practicing Sylvanas, so they kind of had a feeling this was going. Oh, and actually we have Yggdrasil coming in. It looks like replacing United. Did not catch that right away.
And the Samuro ban comes out. This is a map that I would not want to give BMED Samuro on. There's way too many things to do on the map for letting him run rampant if you don't have a strong answer to Samuro.
It is kind of humorous to me because BMED always complains about getting banned out, but then he also doesn't take Samuro when it's actually available. He waits and gives them a 3rd ban. Granted, there are some hard counters to Samuro, although against BMED, I will say they're probably soft. Oh, interesting. Awfully Imperious. I mean, this is not the biggest double soak map, but still not something I see very often.
This is a lot of dive. I think we might see some very aggressive Sylvanas plays for these kills because Imperious has a very, kind of a medium range dive with his spear. Nubrak's got a pretty long range dive. Sylvanas can also go pretty long range with her wave. Lost Vikings and Falstad being picked up by CCS though. They currently have 2 globals and and Vikings. So they have a very interesting response to map pressure.
Yeah, it kind of comes down to, it's like, okay, you can dive us, but we'll all be there. Or if you go for the Vikings, then we'll just push down your stuff. All right, Kael'thas, not a bad answer. If the Vikings actually get together, Kael'thas loves having multiple people within his flame rings.
Does also give them a little bit more stun power. Kael'thas also quite good into any kind of CC that groups people up. If that's Johanna, Imperious Spear can kind of pull people together a little bit. Because if you spear two people, they get slammed together pretty tight. So that can help facilitate some Living Bomb and Q damage getting stacked up real quick.
Absolutely. We're going into Infernal Shrines. I almost said Imperious Shrines. I might have a little bit of Angel on the brain right now. But going into Infernal Shrines right now, we'll have to see where this is. I feel like Imperious is going to be extra mad the entire time he's here. Like, he's an angry character to begin with, but this is not where he wants to be hanging out.
Maybe. I think with the recent changes to Imperious, he's got a lot more wave clear than he used to. His level 7 talent now allows him to get a few extra cleaves on his auto attacks whenever he activates his Molten Armor. And that has really kind of, let's see, what's it called? Holy Fervor. Activating causes the next 4 basic attacks within 10 seconds to cleave for 30% additional damage, and passive, casting Molten Armor grants Holy Fervor for 2 basic attacks. It gives him a lot of wave clear now.
Alright, fair enough. Coming in on the side of ReGen Ghost on the blue team, we do have Jub playing that Anduin, Mongoose on the Anubarak, Andrew playing that Kael'thas, Aaron on the Imperious, and then Crushnator playing that Sylvanas. Looks like they're actually moving down to the bottom lane.
And then for currently chasing Samuro, we've got Cardona on Greymane, Asmachad on Felstead, I Carry for Fun on Brightwing, BMed on Lost Vikings, and Yggdrasil on Diablo. BMed's Viking down there just about goes down, getting the traditional Sylvanas cheese in bottom. Balog actually dies to a living bomb that was left on the tower.
However, they do save the tower, so Sylvanas cheese does not pay off, although they didn't really give too much for it. Although I don't think anyone's actually been to top lane, and Pierce is heading up there now. But I do, the ReGen Ghost does have a slight experience lead for the time being.
Yes, they do have the Viking spread, but they haven't gotten that much experience out of them. And this Imperious is out for blood. I think he probably could have killed that Olaf there. Diablo getting picked on this rotation. Getting bodied, manages to push out the Mongoose, but Living Bomb comes out spreading. But both teams able to disengage there. Eric dies to this Imperious. Aaron is just out for blood versus these Vikings. Diablo once more getting picked by a bush gank from Mongoose. Mongoose getting pretty low.
It takes a huge amount of damage, just have to run away very quickly, but it looks like we'll be okay. No real deaths in the game so far. Vikings do not count. It is funny, there's 3 Vikings and each of them count as a 4th of a death, because apparently Blizzard is also bad at math.
And that's another 4th of a death going down the drain.
This hat now all 3 Vikings have died because that
all
was...
All 3 have died once. CCS picking up their mid camp. And positioning, not with it, but maybe looking for this bot camp as well. Brightwing starting it. Doesn't have the world's greatest clear. But Greymane gets in there pretty quickly. They do need to be careful here. Diablo once more taking the brunt of this CC chain. And is not able to get out this time.
Yeah, interestingly, we actually had Brightwing like teleporting in. I wonder if that was a misclick because it was not teleporting in onto the Diablo that was almost dead.
Seems feasible.
You go and have the Arcane Shrine activating in the middle of the map just about now. Kind of the middling shrine, you always hope for Frozen, but you're glad to see Arcane because it's not Molten. Mortar? Words?
Interesting to see Vikings not picking up Merklord here.
Oh, that is? I had not noticed that yet. They have the bribery, but then, yep, Eric the Swift.
Falstad pretty far forward, separated from the team. Not the. Instead, the Diablo is getting targeted once more.
Poor Diablo, I kind of feel like he's being picked on.
It's fine. He's a big boy. He's got souls for that. I mean, he doesn't have souls yet, but
He has 39 of them.
that spell shield helping to reduce a lot of damage there in these little engages when he's able to get it off before the CC comes out fully. Just kind of pushing people off the point as his team gathers up, but Falstad getting stunned and stunned. Brightwing heal pops off.
We
And
are
it
at
looks
24.
like Mongoose is in trouble.
Yep, does get flipped into danger. There was the leap of faith, but not quite in time. But we do have a tank trade out. Aaron also taking a large amount of damage. We actually have some of the Vikings in here as well, although not all of them. They are still getting soaked. We do have, for the first time this game, CCS does have the soak advantage, getting up to level 8 while their opponents are still pretty deep into level 7. But the Arcane Punisher is out and large and in charge.
This is where that Merklord would have come in handy, having that top camp. 'Cause they probably would have taken that top wall.
So they are
But
moving in.
Arcane
The experience
Punisher-
is...
Eric goes down.
Eric's going to get himself a new nickname at this rate. We do have
Baylog.
Baylog. Yep,
Shoving bot hard. Manages to hearth just out of sight. Great little push there.
Oh, and it looks like Aaron's going to be in trouble up top. Was trying to once again be bloodthirsty and go after Olaf, but then the rest of the team showed up. Apparently Olaf has friends. Does he actually get... He survives?
Yeah, they were not able to quite catch up with him as he walked away kind of leisurely. Meanwhile,
he does that-
ReGen Ghost stealing the enemy's mid-camp while pushing bot lane right after. BMed doing his best to keep that mid-camp from pushing straight into that mid-fort. Baylog goes down bot once again. He can't really defend, and it looks like they're content to trade top for bot while Aaron gets picked under his keep. BMed
I do have to
driving
say-
the top camp.
I do have to say, if you have the choice, it is a lot better to trade Baylog the Stout for Imperius if you're trading kills.
I'll agree with that.
Oh, Mask and Trover, rating of the party of 5. Hello, hello. We are in game number 2 of ReGen Ghost versus currently chasing Samuro. My name is Raka, and enjoy the show. I'm now going to stop acknowledging chat again.
So BMed getting a lot of experience value out of Vikings this game. He's got 12,000 experience compared to the next highest, which is Crushinator on Sylvanas, strangely enough, with 5,400.
So yep, definitely, you definitely can kind of like run that whenever you're in 3 places at once. It is hard to keep up. This looks like there is going to be a fight over this bottom camp. Diablo does get rooted and then stunned. He's really trying to get in there. Does not quite get there before the camp is taken. And mind control comes out. Looks like Diablo is going to be going down. Goodbye. That's actually not Diablo. My bad.
The Diablo in trouble now. The friendly gust comes out from Asma Chad, gives him a way out. Brightwing gives him a heal right back up. But unfortunately, they did trade 1 1/4 for nothing there.
Yeah, it was actually bad because Diablo managed to get... The stuns were perfect because they kept Diablo back just long enough for the camp to get picked up. Because then when they committed, they had the entire camp just throwing spears at them the whole time. And we have another Viking going down. We do go ahead and are moving into the top shrine. This will be a Mortar Punisher coming down top lane. It looks like CCS is just kind of giving this up. They kind of look like they're pressuring bottom at the moment.
I think they kind of have to do that. Cordona in a very interesting position right now. Falstad flying in as well. They do not have any front line with them. I don't know that ReGen Ghost knows that fact, but that was definitely a very dangerous position to be a 2v5 like that.
Indeed.
Spear
Great
comes
Spear just
out.
catches Cordona. Another stun happens on Yggdrasil, trying to keep them back. There is a spell shield that kind of helps keep Diablo up. And once again, we do just have the lanes being pushed while this is going on. This is a bad thing for ReGen Ghost because they need to not be hesitating on this because the Vikings keep gaining more and more advantage the longer this takes.
Light Bomb comes out on the Diablo. Diablo pushing, trying to bully his way out of this. APOC comes out. Not a lot of stun follow-up, but a huge amount of burst from Cursed Bullet. However, it is Diablo that goes down with a living bomb, which is going to cause Greymane to... Or not Greymane. What was that next time that just went down?
It was either one of the Vikings or it was Brightwing.
Yep.
There's
the old
nice
double Viking spear right there.
Lot of damage going in. We do have the Mortar Punisher just walking in, raining death all over the place, or at least fire. Fire and death, same thing, I think.
Yes, unfortunately the Vikings did use Play Again during that team fight, so they're not able to soak these side lanes as this objective goes, but they did manage... BMed did manage to sneak across the map and once again bribe the enemy top camp.
So that will get a lot of free damage as this goes on. Everyone is up except for the Vikings. Vikings are up right about now. There's another mind control onto Diablo. Diablo trying to get out. Diablo is the Tree of Life, but unfortunately, or Yggdrasil's the Tree of Life, but Diablo is the Demon of Death right now.
The gust comes out, but the gate was still up, so unfortunately ReGen Ghost just kind of slammed into the gate and didn't actually go under the keep, which I think was what was being aimed for here. Another Viking getting speared manages to invuln out. Greymane and Rightwing now left to defend alone. And this is not looking so great. The experience gap quickly shut down and then reversed with that push.
Alright, would you go ahead and have ReGen moving back across the middle of the map? Going ahead and pick up some of this experience. It's just like hanging out at their gate. Are trying to deal with this. We are at the race for 16. Right now, ReGen Ghost does have the advantage, trying to move into that.
I think Mongoose must have lagged there. He started a camp and dug and just rolled right over the wall.
I shouldn't laugh. I'm a bad person. Shaman Camp is picked up on the side of ReGen. Level 16s are gotten for everyone. However, there is a lot of damage and a very, very dead Viking. Just like we have a Khadra camp being taken, there's going to be a fight over this one as they move in, but they do pick it up just before Imperius shows up.
With Diablo in the cocoon, they don't really have a lot of CC to counter-engage. Huge light bomb with living bombs comes out. Aaron spears land on the Diablo, chunking a huge amount of the health, and once more CCS is sitting there with not a lot of heroes left in another 3-for-0 trade.
Yep, I heard you like bomb. Here's some bombs for your bombs.
Yep.
So we have everyone moving in. It looks like they are, surprisingly enough, I guess the death timers are very, very short, so they're just going to go do some damage. I almost expect them to go top lane and just push, but yeah, by the time they rotate around, the other teams would RP back, so it'd be pointless. Never mind.
This is a very quick game.
Crusher instantly looked like they used black arrows, but then didn't actually hit the fort. Keep?
No. You hate to see it. Balog putting up a valiant effort, but dies to minions, catapults, and camp top lane.
It's like the Vikings are up. They're trying to hold top lane back. We do go ahead and finally have the Frozen Punisher coming up. I assume that's Frozen. I don't actually know. Yep. Go me.
Meanwhile, Mongoose, looking for a pick here, manages to cocoon the Brightwing. The spear comes out a little bit early, but that doesn't matter. They have enough explosive potential to just blow up a Brightwing before she can get a single cast off.
You also hate to see that. Brightwing, interesting, did even take Blink Heal and could not blink away. Just was not able to press any of her buttons.
Yeah, she... the spear might not have landed, but everything else did at the same exact time, so...
So the good news for CCS is that this is going to be a shrine that will push the Frozen Punisher down a lane that they at least still have a keep in. It won't go directly to core, but I do not think without Brightwing they're really going to be able to contest this, although they're acting like they might try to.
Brightwing's only dead for another 4 seconds. She can teleport in. They do have the global pressure, and it is equal talent tiers. This is where they need to make their stand. The teleport comes in maybe early, but either way, Brightwing is here. Nubrak in the point. Imperious, their front line's up. Big stun comes out onto the Diablo. Mongoose cocoons the Brightwing. Looking for a target to CC. Big stun on the Brightwing. Huge gust. APOC comes out. Nice disengage.
But the Frozen Punisher is achieved, and it is even now starting to move through the lane. I assume? There it is. For a while, I actually lost track of it.
Yeah, it definitely took a interesting bit of passing there. It looked like it doubled back. Oh, I think BMed tricked it with the Viking.
That is super awesome, actually. It actually juked me. I don't even know about the other team, but it definitely juked me.
Mind control goes out, doesn't connect. But with the upgraded ultimate, that's not a huge deal. Trait goes down on the CCS of mid-keep. Punisher lands, a Nubrak goes in, Light Bomb is out, and Diablo goes down. He does not have souls, so he is out for the next 60 seconds.
And unfortunately, it is very much looking like that may be too long. I think the game will expire before he returns.
Aaron doing this side push here. I think they just focus core here.
Yeah, there's nothing left to fight.
I mean, they can go for kills, that's fine.
You don't get experience for killing walls, you don't need to. Yep, and that is about to ring the bell. It looks like game number 2 is going to go in favor of ReGen Ghost. Currently the only team with a 100% win rate in Division E or B Northeast.
E, B, kinda similar.
My mic cut out. Clearly it was B the whole time. I don't mess up the division I'm modding.
Yeah, definitely a very strong showing for ReGen Ghost tonight.
Alright, so if you want to look at the stats real quick, actually, let's jump down into a lobby, see if we can get an interview right quick.
Okay.
Alright. And with that being taken care of, look at the stats at the end of the game while I wait to see if we are joined. We do go ahead and have Jub leading the healing war with 74,000 versus 53,000. In terms of damage, we do have Falstad, Asperchad leading the way. Actually, looks like Mongoose is here with us, so I can stop talking about numbers and start talking to people. Hello?
Well, how are you folks doing this evening?
Well, I'm doing very, very well, although I have a feeling you're doing better.
Oh yeah, open up with a W is always a good night, right? NGS Season 12 opening night.
Absolutely. Other than that one sneaky team that went in early.
I know.
We've got a lot of
Sneakers.
folks in here.
Yeah, we got a lot of people showing up. Hello, everyone.
Hello. Oh man, this is gonna be.
Pat
the
Daimler,
first,
this is the wrong channel.
casted match. Wait,
Yeah,
really?
they just wanted to say
Yes,
hi. Hi,
yep.
guys.
Is it? Oh god, I'm so sorry. I'll take my leave here. Oh,
I was like, I don't recognize the names, but some people have different names on Discords than others, so...
Nah, we're just getting our NGS match set up. Y'all have a good night.
Thanks, bud. You too.
So, looking at the game, obviously, quick 2-0. You did get to pick both of the maps. Was Tomb of Spider Queen and Infernal Shrine specifically maps that you just feel really good at one, or was there some specific reason you thought you'd be able to fight effectively against currently chasing Samuro?
Tomb is one of our better maps, so that was definitely a comfort thing. Shrines was a little more. We know that B meta is notorious for playing the weird heroes very well, and although they are good on Shrines, it's not the great map. You know, there are better maps for Vikings, and there are better maps for Samuro, and there are better maps for Gazlo, which we weren't going to let him play anyway. So that was a little bit of a picking the map to our opponent a bit.
Certainly makes sense. I'm actually trying to go back to Spider Queen already. Your opponents actually went for a somewhat tried and true CCL strategy of throwing people into the mine, into the hush puddle, and you guys really seem to have that one kind of preemptively figured out. Did you kind of realize that would be the strategy they would go for, and what did you do to counter it?
Well, I think the game one, or at least what we said in comms in the game one, was that game was going to be all about controlling Garrosh, and how effective he would be was going to be a huge factor in the outcome of the game. So our kind of focus the entire game was basically knowing where Garrosh was at all times and making anything and everything he tried to do very difficult. Garrosh is actually a hero we've struggled against a little bit, so I was really happy, and we all were, with how that went down. I think the walls and the mouth roots were all really good. The face melt from ETC was solid, so it really, at least from our end, it looked like Garrosh had a difficult time in that game, which was kind of our stated objective outside of draft. So we were kind of happy with that our play from that end.
It definitely did look like it worked out. I saw several times where Garrosh kind of had to was forced to throw the ETC, which is not necessarily the target he wants, but the only one you would let him have.
Well, that's the idea, right? If anybody is going to get thrown, it's got to be ETC or Leo. And even me getting thrown was a concern. They have got the silence over there, right? I mean, if my Q is up, I can get to safety. But if there's a lurking arm waiting on the other side, that doesn't really matter. Or if there's a root or a concussion mine, all of those can make my life difficult. But I actually remembered to take Crowd Surfer for once, because generally I hate that talent. But this was one of the few instances where I thought I could get value out of it, and I did. And I didn't forget to take it, which I always do. So I was pretty happy about that.
Yeah, we definitely saw you slip out of something up near top boss where you got thrown over a wall and just slid right back over the same wall.
And not just defensively, too. Actually, at the end, I slid through the Entomb sideways to help secure the Garrosh kill. It was like crossing the T on the Entomb.
Ah.
Yeah, I'll fully admit I missed that one at the end, but I definitely saw the defensive escape, which was very, very nice for you. Less nice for your opponents. Moving on into the... Actually, before I do that, did you have any questions about Game 1, Jacqueline?
No, I think they were kind of answered. I was just going to ask, how did it feel picking ETC so early and then seeing Stukov, Junkrat, Garrosh all just keep lining up one after another with this big CC chain?
I mean, I was worried. That was what we identified, I said, coming out, was being kind of wary of those things. They're all strong, though. They're not... The Garrosh Stukov combo is pretty solid, but Junkrat can be kind of awkward sometimes to work his CC in. So I think it's one of those that if you're going to try to work him into that, you definitely want to work on it. So the Junkrat was a little less concerning as part of the CC chain, more just the general disruption, and then the vision control and the turn-in control on the Junkrat was, I thought, more problematic than as part of the CC chain. But if you, I was so intentional about not queuing into their team basically ever. It was always defensive, So I was very aware of it for sure.
Absolutely makes sense. Going into game number 2, you already said you kind of knew that B-Meta was known for playing the unusual characters. Did you kind of draft expecting, or at the very least being okay with the possibility of Vikings, or did that still kind of catch you with a oof?
A little of both, actually. We kind of had it in the back of our heads. That's one of the reasons we like Sylve. We like the Sylve matchup into Vikings. So the early Sylve, we just like Sylve generally, but the possibility of Vikings kind of added the value to it. So we kind of had it in the back of our head. We had a feeling they might go that way, but we kind of liked how the draft stacked out for us if they went Vikings. So we were a little surprised that they still took it, because we were kind of feeling good about it. We're like, no, we kind of like what we got. I don't think they're going to go with it, and they did. And we're like, oh, well, all right. It's kind of, but it was definitely on our mind in draft that was a possibility.
And then the other question I had is that looking at things, the way things went out, Imperius is not a hero I see all that often on Infernal Shrines. Obviously, Aaron played extremely well, managed to secure a lot of kills, but still, what kind of led to the decision to use Imperius? Because this does feel like one of his not as strong maps, because it is so focused on doing area damage.
More CC.
Can't argue with that.
Nope, it certainly worked out. I guess you were just like, you know what, we have enough area damage with the Kael'thas, we're fine, and I certainly can't argue with the results. So, Jacqueline, did you have anything you want to ask about Game 2?
How did it feel just going out for Viking blood?
It's a fine line, honestly, because, when he's harassing you with those Vikings, especially when there's just one of them and there's like a group of you, you want to kill those little guys. But if it's Eric in particular, you can really waste a lot of time chasing him around. So, I mean, if you happen to get a hold of one and blow him up, that's great. But you really don't want to waste a bunch of resources chasing him all over the place. On that last Punisher in particular, he did a real great job of pulling the Punisher away. I was like, where is that? Oh, he's over there.
We were confused too.
Yeah, he did a real nice job of pulling that Punisher where we didn't want it. So yeah.
It was, when you go back and watch the VOD, I was like, okay, and they picked up the Frozen Punisher, and Punisher's moving towards core? Probably? Because
Maybe?
I was looking on the minimap of the expected route, and I just could not find it.
Well, part of the reason I hung out in that top fight is I was kind of expecting John Cena to come off the top ropes, and then I looked up and it was like John Cena was in the locker room. I was like, where'd he go?
But, all right, those are the questions that we had. Let me go ahead and turn it over to you for the shout-outs I'm sure you have.
Casters always first. One of the wonderful things about NGS is our wonderful casting crew. So thank you so much for picking up the cast. It is greatly appreciated. To our opponents, some familiar faces over there. GG's to them, and to our friends and ReGen, Murda, and all the rest of the ladies and gentlemen playing on our sister teams. Good luck to them this season, and as always, shout out to my wife for watching our kids so I can play video games at night.
Definitely makes sense on that one. So, I also want to shout out your wife, because we appreciate you being able to be here. The game would be a lot more boring if one team didn't have enough players and had to forfeit.
Absolutely. NGS spouses, best spouses, no doubt.
No question. All right, so that's everything I had. Jacqueline, anything else before we close it up?
Nope, nothing else over here. Just some great games, a very strong showing for ReGen Ghost to open up the season.
Yeah, we're pretty happy
absolutely.
with it.
I guess actually because you are here, I will ask, where does the name ReGen come from? since you are definitely someone that can talk intelligently about that?
You know, I assume it's a reference to the ReGen Globe, but you'd actually have to ask Murda. I came in to ReGen, I think the second or third season they were around, so it was kind of already here. I assume it's a reference to the ReGen Globe because all of the teams have their own team color tinted ReGen Globe emoji. So that would be my educated guess as to where it came from.
So clearly I have to cast Murda and get him into an interview.
Yep, there you go.
But all right, I'll go ahead and let you go. And
All right.
everyone else, we're going to go ahead and raid over to Jazleen because Jazleen is currently casting Phoenix Rising Ruby versus Jin M Esports. The game that actually invaded at the beginning of this interview, we'll go ahead and see what they're doing. If you're interested in me, I'll actually be back in about 30 minutes, and I will be casting Animaniacs versus CM After Dark, so maybe I'll see you later, maybe if I won't. A lot of games going on. Enjoy them all.